So the traditional meniscus repair techniques includes the all inside, inside out and outside in technique, where we have come up with a new paradigm of meniscus repair, and that is called as a meniscotibial repair. And we do it with the use of an innovative osteoknot X anchor, which is an all suture anchor with a very small diameter threads which can be used to repair the meniscus perfectly. So here what we are doing is we are inserting the anchor in the center, and we can see that there are two flaps. Both of them are elevated and distracted, one on the posterior side and one on the anterior side, and this needs to be rectified and repaired. So if you want to repair these sort of meniscus tears, you need to reduce them back into their place, and here we are using special devices to pass sutures. So what we want here is we want to pass sutures from the anterior and the posterior part of the meniscus and then repair it so that we can place both the fragments into their own place, thereby reducing the meniscus tear into its position. So what we do here is we use a knee scorpion device. Since this anchor is loaded with a number 0 suture, this can be loaded directly to the knee scorpion as contrast to any other sutures which are loaded with number 2 suture. So this anchor is a very peculiar anchor which is loaded with a number 0 suture, and hence it can be directly loaded on the knee scorpion, and we can pass the sutures on the meniscus flaps both anteriorly and posteriorly. The posterior sutures are usually passed with the knee scorpion, whereas the anterior flap sutures can be taken with either a knee scorpion or any kind of a suture shuttling device. In this particular case, we will use an ideal suture passer for the same. The posterior part, as I told you, is taken with the knee scorpion. We make the high anteromedial portal to put the osteoknot X anchor into its place, and then we took this wires to for the ideal suture shuttle. So the most anterior suture is taken by the ideal suture shuttle. Now we will be start to tie both the sutures. So we will be tying the blue suture first, and once we start tying the blue suture, the meniscus fragments will be reducing into its position. So here we can see that the meniscus sutures is reducing into its position. So both the anterior and posterior flap reduced very perfectly into the desired location once we start tying the sutures back into their place. So this anchor, the first anchor, as we tie it, the meniscus, both the flaps return to their original position, and we can see that almost a normal shaped meniscus can be seen. The second knot is then tied in the white suture, and this will lead to a more better closure of the meniscus per se. So here we can see that we are able to achieve a very good repair with two side to side sutures using a single meniscotibial anchor. And this is the beauty of this osteoknot X anchor from Osteocare, that this anchor is able to reduce the meniscus at its place with a side to side configuration, and you can use a knee scorpion directly into it. Now we will be using a box stitch configuration to close the anterior vertical limb of the tear. So what we do is we use an ideal suture shuttle and we use a box stitch configuration. So we pass the ideal suture shuttle 2 times, and by that we will be able to close the vertical split on the anterior part of the meniscus. Now this is called as a box stitch, and the box stitch can be used for both vertical and radial components of the meniscus, and this can be tied as a normal suture. Again, it's a number 0 suture, so it's a very low dimension suture, and it will not cause any cut through effect on the meniscus when we tie this meniscus onto its place. So we will strongly recommend the use of these fine sutures, fine suture material, to close sutures and to repair meniscus tears like this complex configuration of vertical, horizontal splits along with flaps. So side to side repair is important, box stitch is important, and those tears who were previously considered non-repairable can also be repaired with this technique.